Peace, blessings.
Goodness.
All right, mercy. All right, peace, blessings, enough, really plenty, a lot of love to all our queens and kings in the house. Really appreciate. Thank you all very much for joining us on this wonderful Thursday um, in September to remember, and that is September 4. And we do hope wherever you're tuning in from, that you had a wonderful day thus far, and you had a wonderful week thus far, and that as we get into our deep dive, globally changing lives, that of course you will be elated with our program today. And so as we move forward on today's program, of course, you know that we will be starting with In It to Win It with none other than Lerato Shadari, who is our wonderful singing, recording, international artist that gave us this wonderful song, In It to Win It. And of course, it speaks well, because anything that you would like to win, you first, of course, have to be in. So yes, most definitely, we all have to be in it to win it. All right. And so just stay tuned as we play In It to Win It by Lerato Shadari, which is our theme song for the past 4 years from the get-go of this wonderful program. So, yes, take a look.
next up is on passive.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Loretta Shadari. We really appreciate. And as we move forward, of course, the first item on the program, of course, it will be our mindset, because the mindset is more important, well, is the first important thing that you can address in your life, in our lives. Because without the proper mindset, which needs to be led by wisdom, then we are not going to really get anywhere in life. All right. The mindset controls our belief system. And so if you have a bad mindset, then, you know, you need to change that. All right. And get a good mindset. If you have a pessimistical mindset, you need to change that and get an optimistical mindset. All right. If you have a doom and gloom mindset, then of course you'll need to change that to obtain yourself a successful mindset and an entrepreneurial mindset, a business mindset. And so these are the areas of mindset that it is best that we grow. All right. And I did a series, mindset to grow. All right. And those to let go. Right. There are mindsets that you need to let go. And there are, of course, some that you need to grow. Well, most definitely, the wonderful person that will be actually doing the mindset for us today is none other than our own. She is an inspirational speaker and entrepreneur. She is a talk show host long before on Passive. And most definitely, she is a grandmother of 9 children, which means you need to have some children to have grandchildren. Yes, right. Beautiful. And so she has been a very inspirational, motivational speaker, especially when it comes down to health and wellness, because without proper health and wellness, then the financial success will be of no avail. All right. And so help me make welcome none other than our one and only Jacqueline Warner. Over
Hi,
to you.
good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. Hello to everyone everywhere. Yes, my name is Jacqueline Warner. Thank you so much, King Dr. Derek, for that introduction. I'm here just to serve and do my part for my fellow business ambassadors of slash affiliates. So it's a pleasure to always show up and be here. This is the best webinar where we dive deep, where we have been diving deep. We have been empowered for, oh my gosh, is it for some it's 7 years? For some of us it's 5, for some of us it's 3. But you know what? The main thing that we're getting our mind in the right place. We're being remolded. We're being transformed. And that's what we have learned a lot. Even though we're not making any money, we have learned so much, and we have grown. We're not the same person that we was when we first started. We don't think the same. We're not doing anything the same anymore. So our minds have elevated, they have opened up. We're not closed-minded, we're open-minded. So we thank you so much, Dr. Derek, for this amazing platform, for all the work that you do, not only for us, for yourself, but for everyone that is associated with you. So thank you so much. And thank the other leaders also for always showing up and doing their part also, keeping us abreast, keeping us together, showing that, hey, this journey is real. It's not fake. And also we just got to thank who our friend, our brother, Mr. Ash Mafara, for making all this possible. Because if he didn't share his dream and he kept it to himself, we wouldn't be here today. We won't know anything about Unpassive. We wouldn't know anything about all the different areas that he took us along with him. Some of us been to Dubai, all these other places he took us, to India, all over the place, wherever he showed up, Egypt, we all went with him. We all was on the journey. He didn't hide anything. He was transparent. He has a big heart, and that heart is full of love for each and every one of us. So let's be appreciative. Let's be grateful. And most of all, we have to be grateful to our Heavenly Father, because without him, none of us will be here. He wake us up every morning. He give us new mercies. He is so great, gracious unto us and merciful. We can't do without him. I know I can't. So I thank each and every one of you for showing up, and always, King Carlton, always here, supporting Dr. Benny and all the others, Roslyn. I appreciate Queen Lily Lane. I appreciate each and every one of you. So tonight, I'm just going to give you a little insight about understanding menopause. Some of us already been, especially the ladies and the men. Some of us already been through it. Some of us is going through it, and some of us is looking forward to it. So, and it's a great topic. It's not a bad topic. It's just another level. It's another transformation, from fertility. That means I did my part. Next, and that's what menopause is all about, making that transition where we at a higher level, and it's all about wisdom and vitality and all that great stuff, empowering. And that's why you see some people, some women and men, they start their careers, real careers, when they start to focus on themselves. They do it in their 50s and 60s, So menopause is a good thing. So today we're going to be understanding the journey for women and men, because it's not only for women. Men go through, not because they're not having kids. That don't mean that they don't go through it. The body goes through a change. And if it doesn't only change for women, but it changes for men also. And it differs. Okay? We're going to explore the physical, the emotional. We're just going to touch a little, because I'm not going too in depth, because it can be very in depth, and the holistic aspects of menopause. So, of course, like I said, menopause always seems like it's a women thing. We never talk about the men. We don't include them. Everything, they just focus on the women. The women is the one complaining, oh my God, hot flash, and I have these nice reds. I have to wring out my sheets. Oh, you hear all sort of stories, different symptoms from, not everybody, but 80% go through the hot flashes. So, but men also go through hormonal changes as they age, because it's a hormonal thing. It's with your estrogen and progesterone. Okay. So this presentation will highlight both and compare the differences and share the holistic remedies. So what is menopause? It's a natural biological process. It's just how our Heavenly Father has created us, how he is nothing to do with man, is our creator. He created the body, and this is just the way it's supposed to operate. You're not sick, you're not dying. It's not that I'm aging and this is happening. No. Okay. So don't get it twisted or anything like that. It also occurs when a woman's menstrual cycle permanently ends. And that's usually around 45 and 55. Now, some women might experience it early because they might have had some kind of medical condition, especially if they have a hysterectomy. Okay, so then they might experience in their 30s or even whenever it takes place, they will go through some of the symptoms. All right, because remember, there's an interruption taking place now. It's earlier than the normal process or the normal age. So things are going to be a little dysfunctional. All right. And it all's due to the decline in estrogen and progesterone. Okay, levels. That's all it is. All right. The levels go down. They don't go up. You hear some women say, well, they're going to get more estrogen. They're going to take more estrogen. No, this is the way God created the body. Don't go and make it more complicated. Okay, it's a process, like everything. Unpassive is a process. Having children is a process. Going to work is a process. Everything in life is a process. Okay? So women, of course, it's not a disease, like I said, you're not sick. It's just a natural life stage that brings changes physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now, do men go through menopause too? Of course, but it's known as andropause, okay? Not menopause. And it happens gradually, usually in men over 40, all right? And it's caused by a slow decline in their testosterone, okay? And it's different from women menopause, which ours is more sudden. Theirs are not sudden, it's slowly. They might not even recognize it. They're not getting hot flashes and all of that. Okay. But we're going to go through some of the signs. Men don't experience a complete reproductive shutdown because they don't bear children. Okay. But the testosterone levels decrease over a time. So that's why it's not sudden for men. Okay. And they might not complain and lead into symptoms often called male menopause. Now, signs and symptoms in women, we get the hot flashes, of course, and the night sweats. 80% of women experience the hot flashes. I can say I experienced the hot flashes at 50. Okay. And I just would say, I will feel this heat come over me and I'll be like, what's going on? Even though my GYN doctor told me I will experience it at 50, and she was so correct. She was right on time. Okay. And I went through it and I just said, I'm flashing. Maybe there was other things I was going through, but I just took everything as a process and I let it take its course. And that's what I did. I didn't fight against it. I didn't take no hormonal therapy. I didn't go look for any pills. I didn't complain to my doctor. None of that. It was bearable for me, in other words, because some women cannot take it. It's a little too much for them. Okay. Irregular or stop periods. That happens when you're getting close to menopause. You might experience heavy menstruals and sometimes for months. What is the process? I can say that because I went through it, so I know. Okay. Mood swings. And that's normal. Some of us have mood swings before we even reach menopause. But in menopause, you get mood swings because things are changing in the body. It's just like when you're having a baby, there's changes that take place in the body. Even at a surgery, changes are taking place in the body. So the body is going to act a little abnormal, and it's okay. You get irritable easily. Depression. I remember I worked in an office in New York, and these ladies, they were older ladies, and they were going through menopause, and they always had to like open the window, and it's cold outside. And we used to bother them, but look, we all have to travel that same road, you know. But that's how it is. It's very uncomfortable. They have to feel cool, and it just make them very uneasy and irritable. Vaginal dryness, lower libido. Okay, you get weight gain. Your metabolism is slower. You get bone loss. you know? So every woman experience is unique. It's not the same. I could tell you about mine, but other women will say, look, let me tell you, I have to wring. I talked to ladies, they said they have to get up and actually wring their sheets out. That's how much water, how much they sweat, their night sweat. You get the night sweat in your chest also. I experienced that at night, you know? But because I guess I just take things very simple. But they are the most common symptoms. Some may be mild, while others struggle significantly. So some women, it's not easy at all. Now, the signs and symptoms for men, which is andropause, they get fatigue, they have low energy, they have reduced in the libido, erectile changes, mood changes. They also experience irritability, depression, decreased muscle mass, increased fat, sleep disturbance, memory, and concentration issues. So you see, men do go through andropause because as we get older, the body changes. But it doesn't mean that you're not functional and that's it. I'm at the end of the road. No, that this is a new phase. So men's symptoms are often subtle and gradual, making them less recognized. You don't hear men complaining. You don't even hear men talking about that. And some men is totally unaware because, like you said, menopause is for women, and I don't think men go through anything like that, but men do. They're just was not educated, and no one talks about it. You know, so it's a hormonal changes still affect their physical health, their mood, and their relationships. Now, the difference between men and women has the sudden onset around midlife, like I said, 45, 50, or 50, 55, tied to reproductive system. We're no longer fertile, okay? But men is a gradual onset and it continues into older age. The impact, women experience fertility end and men experience reduced but not ended fertility because our eggs is as old as we are. When that stops, everything finished, no more eggs. But men, no matter how old they get, they still can produce. You see, because they don't have eggs, they have sperm. Okay, so they 65, 80, they can still make children. So that's a good thing they have. That's the advantage they have over women, which is amazing. And the common ground, both face mood, sleep, sexual health, and metabolic changes. We all experience those. That's the common. That's for both men and women. We go through it all. We got mood swings. Some of us can't sleep. We're late night, where we stay up late no matter what. No, they say go 7 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. We still stay up late because we're like night owls, you know. Our sexual health, it gets a little funny there, you know, and our metabolic slows down. So that's why we gain weight. So it's not, and that's why we have to learn how to manage. We got to know how to balance. So while menopause and andropause differ biologically, both genders share overlapping symptoms and need support for balance and well-being. Now, holistic remedies for symptoms relief. You got herbal teas, the black cohosh, the red clover, the sage. You could go to any, I'd say, health food store, but they don't even need, because all of them have their own name now, you know, whole market and different names. So you go there, you can buy them by the ounce. I can't remember the one I went to the other day, but you go there and you buy them by the whatever you need by the ounce. It goes by the ounce, and you paid little of nothing for it. 55 cents, according to how much ounces you want. Okay. And that's what I did. So your mind and body practice the same. It goes back to all the things that we've been talking about. yoga, meditation, doing your deep breathing. These things play more a role in our older, as we age than it did ever before. Because back then we were energetic. We were jumping. Nobody could tell us anything. We were hopping, doing everything, running, skipping. But as we got older, we kind of, got too comfortable and feel like we don't have to do anything. Yes, you do. More to now than ever as we age. You need a healthy diet, whole foods, you need calcium, you need vitamin D. My daughter is pregnant now, and that's with my 10th grandchild. And she just went to the doctor, a midwife, and she said, your vitamin D was low. Her iron was low. Her progesterone was low. So all these things she has to eat. She has to eat to build them up and take a herbal's iron supplement, something that can get to the bloodstream immediately. And she already experienced, hey, say, I'm feeling much better, not so tired anymore. Okay? Regular exercise, weight bearing for bone strength. Because remember, we lose bone. So in order for us not to lose bone, men and women, but women mostly, we need to do weight bearing for bone strength. And for men, they need adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha, ginseng. I used to see my father always had those little bottles of ginseng that he would take in the morning, and the maca root. Okay, you need resistance training and cardio for your testosterone support. Okay, you need a balanced diet, protein, zinc, and omega 3s. And of course, the main culprit, stress reduction, and you need that quality sleep. All right. So these holistic remedies support the body naturally. It reduces your dependency on medication, and you improve overall well-being for both men and women. I used to work for a hormone therapy place in Baldwin Park in Orlando, prestigious, you know. And these people were coming and getting these herbal, because the doctor was making the herbal meds in her own lab. She had her own laboratory for us to go and take our testing that we never took in our lives in a regular lab that we go to the doctor. So sometimes it's good to get you a holistic doctor, even if you got to pay the money, but at least you know where you stand when it comes to your health. The medical doctor is never going to cover, don't have the time. Holistic doctor will stretch back and sit down with you and laugh and talk with you about your body, about your health. A regular medical doctor don't have that time. He has a schedule and he has a goal to fulfill. He has something to fulfill for that day. It's a requirement. It's not what he wants. It's a requirement. And not to put doctors down, but they are on a they have a role to play. They definitely do. Okay. So it helps you to focus on the herbs that God talks about. He said the herbs is for the healing of the nation. And sometimes you might have to take medication. Not saying that all the time it's going to be okay. It can be very drastic where you might have to take medication. But if you start managing now, you might never need to. And it improve your overall well-being without side effects and any kind of complication for men and women. Now, share holistic practices, hydration and balanced nutrition, consistent physical activity, stress management, which you do through meditation, through prayer, and mindfulness, limiting your alcohol use, caffeine, and processed foods, and building supportive relationship. Both men and women can manage symptoms better through lifestyle choices and supportive communities. Women groups. Women could join the women groups that are all experiencing menopause, and get with them and share ideas. Sometimes you can go to exercise classes together. On you could be at each other's home. And that's building a healthy relationship, you know? That's building a community. Because at the end of the day, we need community. We need each other. So I just want to conclude and say menopause and andropause are natural life stages. Though we experience different, both impact physical, emotional, and mental health. So holistic practices provide effective relief and promote long-term wellness. Let me tell you, this is a natural journey. Don't fight against it. Our Creator don't make no mistake when He created our bodies. Anything we experience after this amazing vessel that He have loaned onto us, it comes from us ourselves being disobedient. He gave us a word. He gave us the word. And He gave us everything in that word. How to live, how to eat, how to live with one another. He gave us everything we need. And we're the one who messes it up. Even though it got the greedy people out there, that's all about money and not for humanity. And here we have an awesome and amazing CEO and friend, Ash Mafara, here for everybody. Spending millions of dollars, not on us per se, but just to make sure that he fulfill the dream that God has given unto him. So I'm so proud to be part of this amazing journey and this amazing people that I'm surrounded by. So I thank each and every one of you for your listening ear, and I hope this topic shines some light in the area where we are actually transforming into a new and vibrant body and mindset. So thanks again. Back to you, Dr. Derek.
Wonderful, wonderful. Have mercy. Awesome, awesome, awesome. My goodness, I'm going to need a little bit of that testosterone thingy. I'm going to need right. All the information I can get, boy. Anyway, wonderful. And so let us stay fit, let us stay active. Let us, especially men, let us not turn couch potatoes. All right. And you can have age, but you don't have to get old. Let me say that again. You can have age.
Yeah.
You don't have to get old.
Nope.
Because oldness starts right there. Mindset. Right there is where it starts. Yeah. Right? If you are vibrant and keep your cardio, do some little exercises. YouTube is filled. People doing they call it now planking, right? Planking is not very difficult. There's this gentleman actually, well, not just this gentleman, there's a few persons that is actually coming out with these chair exercises.
Yep.
Exercises that you just need a chair, not to sit on, but to actually do exercises. It was so fascinating, the different types and kinds of exercise that you can do with a chair. All right. So the information is there. We are not lacking where it comes out to information. Let us use the information wisely, so that we can be much more vibrant in our day-to-day activity, even though we might be having age going on, we don't have to get old. All right. I always remember that Moses, when he reached 80 years of age, notice my verbiage, 80 years of age. Didn't say 80 years old, because Moses wasn't old at 80.
Mm-mm.
That is when Moses just start to work. Because it was when he was 80 that God said to go into Egypt and tell Pharaoh to let his people go. All right. And for the next 40 years, Moses was fighting battle, running uphill, running downhill, running in the valley, etc., etc., and fighting a lot of battles. All right. So, hey, it is possible. And if you say, yes, those people are eating good, those people, then they live in a different era. Well, there are five blue zones of people who is living with aches and pains and suffering of old age, and they are centurions. All right. And one of those blue zones is right there in the United States of America, over there in Loma Linda. All right. People naturally live to 100 plus without aches and pains and diabetes and high blood pressure and sickle cell and all these weird diseases that we believe come with old age. No, no, uh-uh, uh-uh. Lifestyle. First lady Queen Dr. Bennett. I'm really burning to see it. Actually. So, over to you.
Greetings! Yahoo! Well, thank you so much, King Dr. Derek, for giving me this opportunity to say something to my queen here. But before I proceed, I just want to say good evening, good morning, good afternoon to my queens and kings, and welcome to this amazing webinar. I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. I love you guys, all right? I also I want to thank each and everyone being here. So we do have an exciting a session prepared by our Queen JW, King Timothy, right? Uh, they want you and I to be really prepared, and if you guys have valuable information for us, we will appreciate it. Like feel free to engage yourself when our King Timothy is presenting. Just listen and then grab your pen and write something if you have any question. Hey, look at him. He's willing to answer all your questions. Anyway, before I hand it over, I just want to take this moment to thank our Heavenly Father. The air that you and I were breathing at the moment is because God wants you and I to be here, right? I'm breathing. As you all know that we just buried 3 of my people. They're gone. And a lot of our brand ambassadors, some of them are gone as well, and some of them are also sick. But we pray that they should get well because dollars is coming, right? Dollars is coming, man. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. But anyway, Queen JW, I really appreciate you with this amazing topic. I know every week you bring different topic. Now you make us to understand. I will first of all say extraordinary mindset. I was just trying to find out about do men experience menopause? The answer is men do not really experience menopause in the same way you and I experience. But men gradually undergo, they decline the testosterone level, which is also referred as andropause. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, see, I know that some women, they feel it, but I don't. So, King, Dr. Derry, I don't. I haven't, even though I've reached that age. But, I think my own time is coming, right, King Carlton? Oh, yes, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to scream and scream when the time comes. But hey, King Dr. Derry, only God knows. It's not me. Anyway. Woo! Menopause, menopause, menopause. Men, look at you. Can you guys carry babies? No, you guys cannot. That is why God make us to be stronger than you guys. Men cannot be pregnant. Only us. Because God prepare us that way, right?
He created that way.
Yes, man. I just want to thank our Heavenly Father. God, sometimes I say, Papa, Papa God, you are something else. You guys know that, right? But
Yep.
we want to thank God for our CEO, and we pray that God will continue to bless him, guide and protect him and his entire family. As you all know, that he is working behind the scene and he is coming. That we all, as King Dr. Derek said, we have to be patient, right? And it is also stated that the patient don't eat what? The fattest bone, man. Isn't it, King Dr. Derek? Oh, yes, man. Anyway, let me just be quiet, but I just want to say thank you so much for this amazing mindset. Thank you, Jesus, Holy Spirit.
Wonderful, wonderful. Don't really know about the fattest bone, but there are dogs that don't eat bone. You have to give them nice, lovely meat, flesh. They don't eat bone. They smell the bone, and they walk away from it. So there's some dog that you have to give them some flesh on the bone. Wonderful. All right. Whatever pause, whether it's Andrew or it's men, very good. No problem. Um, personally, all is well. And just as I said, just need to keep exercise, believe in God, and continue exercising. When you stop exercising, that is when you start to get old. Let me say that again. When you stop exercising, that is when you start to get old. All right? Let me say that again. When you stop exercising is when you start to get old. All right. I hope that punch. And walking to work is not exercise. All right? Walking to work is not exercise. Oh, to walk 10 blocks. That's not exercise. That's walking to work. Anyway, wonderful. Thank you very much, First Lady Queen Dr. Benny, and thank you very much, Queen Jacqueline One, for that wonderful presentation. Really appreciate, really appreciate, really appreciate. And so moving right along, King Carlton, good to see you every time, all the time. And of course, Queen Lillian, wonderful, wonderful. And Queen Theodore, yes, that's so true. When we stop exercising is when we start to get old. Right. Thank you very much, Queen Theodore. Really appreciate that is so that's definite. Let us exercise. If it's the one thing you do, exercise. Exercise at least 5 days a week. Just need 10 to 15. You don't need to go to the gym and spend 2 hours. You see, that's a problem. You don't need to go to the gym and spend 2 hours. Sit off your bed, say your prayers if you pray, or meditate if you meditate, or whatever you do, and then you do a little exercising. All right, wonderful. Queen Debbie McCormick in the house. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Are you on the eastern side? Listen, you first need to let us know where you are. If you are on the eastern side of the world, or if you are on the western side of the world, etc. And again, you will need to also let us know if King Jim is okay. So, those two information is very vital. And in addition, we thank you for gracing us with your presence. Queen Debbie McCormick, over to you.
Wow. Dr. Derek, I don't know where to start and what time I should bring something up, but I'm going to hold my tongue and forever hold my peace. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who is on tonight. Primarily, I want to thank Queen JW for this topic because my husband is telling me we were both listening, and he was called. He's on a call right now, so he's not going to come back. And he's working, so he cannot come back. And we were both listening, and he said, "Oh, no. I am the one who has to this, but you're not." And I listened to Queen Benny saying she has not experienced it. And I said, have I been in menopause? And I didn't know. And he said, don't ask me. I am not you and you are not me, but we are together. So Queen JW, this is a very, very challenging topic that you are sharing with us today for the mindset. I don't know how to thank you for your research. I know we have so many medical doctors in the families to do this research, but listening to someone who is going through the same process or has gone through the process is very enlightening. So what I wanted to just say is thank you for taking the time to share your research with us. And thank you because it reminds us of what we have to do. Because from the time I signed in with wherever we are, I was trying to follow up and trying to do some exercises. And then I realized, my goodness, Dr. Benny just said she doesn't feel anything. I don't feel anything. And when I go to my OBGYN, they're asking me, when did you start menopause? I said, I don't know. Didn't you have hot flashes and that blah, 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 blah? I said, I don't know. You know why? As Dr. Derek mentioned earlier, exercise. I was doing Bikram yoga. You can what do you call this? You can look up what Bikram yoga is. I was doing that every day for years. 1 hour every day I would do Bikram yoga. I got my girls into it whenever the school schedule and the athletic schedules allow it. And I will tell you, till this day, and as of now that we're speaking, every day in my life, I walk 5 miles a day. Every day, 5 miles away. 5 miles a day. So I don't know whether I've reached menopause or I'm going to reach menopause or not. Maybe the exercising and everything I do in life has changed that. So why am I sharing this? Just to let everyone who is listening on YouTube and live now is that if you stay active based on Queen JW's presentation, and you stay active, you eat healthy, you do the right things, you will not get impacted significantly in life when that time hits for you. Unfortunately, for those who got decided for one reason or another, they have to come home, we cannot tell them what to do at that time. But if you succeed in in reaching that number 50. And some people start in their 40s, by the way. If you happen to be in that time frame in years, stay active, exercise, eat healthy, exercise, eat healthy, and guess what? The rest is up to your metabolism and your family history, because everyone's family history is different. I'm sorry. Back to you, Dr. Derek. I'm taking too much of the time. So back to you, Dr. Derek. Thank you so much. Thank you, Queen JW, for the topic.
Thank you too, Queen.
Queen Debbie, you didn't tell us where you are, you know.
She didn't want to.
Are you on the west? Are you on the west or the east?
This weekend, this weekend we are in Mali, but next week we'll be back in Chicago. Bamako. Bamako is the capital of Mali.
And will you be will you be in Chicago for the rest of the month?
I hear you double. What did you say?
Will you be in Chicago for the rest of the month?
The rest of the month. Oh, September. No, because I'll be when we come back next week, we'll be in other parts of the US, not in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
We'll be in Chicago. I will give you I can send you a message on when we'll be in Chicago.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you.
We miss you.
And is King Jim okay?
Yes, he's in a function right now, and he, as I said earlier, yes, he is okay. Thank you for asking.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Give my regards to him and big him up. Yeah. And you know, give
a kiss.
a hug and a kiss for the team. All right. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Debbie. Really appreciate. Yes, this is a family kind of setting. So, you know, things just go south sometimes, and you know, all over the place. We just all over the place sometime. King Tim. It's a long time we haven't seen Queen Debbie. So she's over there now in Africa and Mali and all of those places. Anyway, wonderful. And so moving right along, we are going to be heading into the next presentation. And of course, this presentation is no stranger to us. Yes, I mean, the last time he was here was last Tuesday, and the Tuesday before that, and November last year, and October last year. So, you know, he has been around for a little while now. So he's no more stranger. He's one of our family. So he's a trusted leader. He's a mentor, of course, without a doubt. A personal development coach, extensive background in health and in fitness. So I expect that without a doubt, King Tim should be around until he reaches 100. You know, I mean, accident and so on, you know, never can tell. But, you know, he should be around, especially because he's fully into health and fitness, business and development and finance for over 20 years, 2 decades. All right. So he has proven to be an excellent teacher.
I have to get credentials.
Motivational speaker, drawing an attraction for audience by the way he engaged them, unlocking long-term unanswered questions, renewing lost hopes. I'm a financial specialist. And most definitely, as we know, this evening, he is going to be leaning, not towards health, leaning not towards fitness, but he's going to be leaning towards finance. And so his topic, his awesome topic this evening, a little lengthy, but I hope you really get it. But it's awesome, awesome topic. Try to change it. So please, exclamation. So attention, our attention. Most people finances is in the tubes, right? My finances are in serious need of a
Me for sure.
solution. And that's exclamation. So you see, that's why I sound so because all of these come with exclamation signs at the end. And so therefore I have to kind of fire up. And so please, if you need to contact him, is it's on the flyer. And it's also in the description. If it's not on the flyer, no, I don't hold on. I might not put it on the flyer. But it's because I think the flyer is sent out already. But it's in the description. And so if you go to the YouTube, and those who are on YouTube already, just scroll down into the description and you'll see his website. I take a look at it. It was fantabulous. His website is there, his phone number is there, and of course, his email address is there. So you have the full spectrum of how to contact this very handsome, wonderful young man who is fully into health, fitness, and today he's going to be talking about your finances. Over to you, Timothy Ferguson Jr.
Thank you, Dr. Derek. Awesome, wonderful. It is a pleasure. It is an honor to be here today. Queen JW, amazing speech and word. You gave me some word that made me understand some of the things that I'm experiencing now that I'm 43 years old. And just to kind of touch base on what you just mentioned as far as with exercise, one of the things that I'll say right now, and I'll lead for the next time I return, is that our bodies and our chronological age are not the same age. Based on how we take care of our bodies is going to determine how long our body will last. And so many of us who do not exercise, who do not take care of our bodies, the temples that they are, they age out much faster than our chronological age. And and then if we exercise, guys, we actually do it. Some would say we add years to our life. And so I'll come back another time to touch more base on that in the details, because that is something that is very, very essential as well. But again, thank you for your time. I want to send a shout out to Dr. Tunishai Ford, Dr. Tony Coleman, and of course, also thank you very again much, Dr. Derek, for this opportunity to share a matter that is even more of an issue than physical health in a sense, because it's the number one cause of stress, it's the number one cause of divorce, it's the number one cause of death in the matter, and this is money and the lack thereof. And so, yes, my topic is a little lengthy, but basically addressing the matter that so many people out here, 90% of people are currently living check to check. 90% of people are working with no plan to be able to retire freely. And so it's so many issues. And what's worse is that, unlike doctors and unlike nurses and lawyers, where we have millions of them that are out there to serve the needy in those areas, we have a very, very small amount of financial advisors that are left around. Most of them are around the age of 50 and 60 as well. And so it's getting really short, it's really short out here, and we really are in the need of more like myself and those who want to help people in being able to help these matter to be able to really serve the community at large. And so what I'm saying, what I want to address right now is we all deal with money. We all talk about money. We all have money issues. But for the most part, when we deal with money issues or think about it, we look at things from a surface level or a subsurface level. Whereas, I don't have a good job. If I was just making a little bit more money, my life would be a little bit better. Or if these situations weren't constantly hitting me from left field, things will be a little bit better. And these are considered surface levels where, yes, a different job, avoiding certain situations is going to have an impact on you not going through certain things. But um, the thing that I want to get on is in the case is that for most of us, the reason why we're in the situations we're in is not because of bad luck. It's not because we have a bad job. It's because we have a poor structural foundation that our money lies on. And I want you to understand it from the matter in the case that that information, guys, if information alone was enough for everybody to change people's lives, we would have more people with more success. And so, what I'm sharing is information, but it's also my objective that who I work with is to get you from A to Z. Okay. And how we're able to do that is, and then how I'll do that is something that will be very simple in a matter that I'll explain a little bit more in detail. So, as I was saying, guys, when it comes to our finances, what we really need to look at is our financial structure. Okay. When we look at a structure of something, say looking at a building, for instance, and we look at the structure of its foundation, and we see that there's cracks in the surface or large cracks, we can tell that okay, this building is really not stable. And so anything we add to it, if we add more floors, add more weight, or any type of anything to the building, it's going to cause it to collapse. Okay, and the worse the structure is, the easier it is to collapse. I want you guys to think about this, guys, because we all look for safety and security in what we live in. And each and every one of us, if we all live in a home, own a home, or living in living under a roof, we all care to live in something that is safe and secure. Now, I'm going to ask you this question, and of course, you don't have to. You can put something in the chat or so if you want to answer it. But I'm just going to tell you when I ask this question to most people, the answer that I get. I ask a person, if money was not an option, uh, would you prefer to live in a single family home, nice with a nice foundation, solid walls, solid roof, or a trailer home? Guys, I've never heard anybody say that I would rather live in a trailer home. Okay, that's an option that most people fall into because they cannot afford a single family home or their money is just really bad conditions. And so, as a result, we all recognize the safety and the security of a sound foundational home. Now, when it comes to our finances, guys, most of our finances, that 90% that we're talking about here, finances look like a trailer home. And what do you mean by that? It looks like a trailer home because our finances lack foundation. We have poor wall foundations. We have a very terrible roof. And think about a trailer home, for example. Think about when the wind blows, when the seasons change and it gets rough. You could feel the house shaking. It'll wake you up in the middle of the night. Think about if the rain is pouring too hard. How loud how loud it is and how you won't be able to sleep. If something too heavy falls in on you, it's going to fall into your home. Think about how thin the walls are. In that, there really is no safety and security in that, guys. And so when we think about this from a house perspective, I want you to now look at things and let's look at money and understand that this is how our money looks, guys. And what do you mean by how our money looks in this case here? Most of us we live with the debt to income ratio that is where our debt is above our income or it's up to the close to it. Most of us are in a place where we do not know where we're going. We don't know exactly how long it's going to take for us to pay our debts off. We don't know how much interest is going. We really have no direction on where we're going here. And I just want you to think about it like this, guys, because I'm putting common sense perspectives that we all have in association to areas that most of us don't have, and showing us that basically it's the same. I want you, when it comes to driving, let's say you want to drive, we're all here, and you want to drive across the country. If you're in New York, you want to drive to California. I'm in Michigan, I want to drive to Atlanta. Someone's in Florida, they want to go to Washington. Okay. What sense would it make for us just to say, you know what, I'm just going to follow the signs and just go west or go east? Okay. What kind of ride is that going to be? That's going to be a really rough ride. You're not going to be able to be prepared for detours. You're going to get lost. You might miss turns. You're not going to be ahead of any preparation. That's going to be a really poor trip. And you might, if that's your first trip, you might say, I never want to go on a road trip again. So most of us have the common sense to say, you know what? If we're going to go on a trip, we need a map. Okay. In today's age, we all have transportation that have what we call GPS. We put the address in the GPS. It takes us exactly where we need to go. It maps out the detours and tells us to avoid which way we want to go. And we get there. And it also tells us how long it takes to get there. You'll be here in 15 minutes. You'll be there in 12 hours, whatever the case. So, and so as a result, it would be foolish to say I have access to a GPS, but I'm not going to use it. And I'm just going to go willy-nilly just travel somewhere. It would be foolish. You're going to waste gas. There's so many things we can go on. So, but now when it comes to our finances, guys, we operate our finances in that very same matter, like trying to drive across country without a map. We don't know where we're going. We don't know how long it takes to get out of our debt. We don't know how to get out of debt. We're just kind of in this detour of going in circle to circle, and whatever time it should have taken us to get to our destination, it may have taken us 3 times longer. Or in some cases, you never get there. You end up turning back around. So what is very important for us to have is a financial GPS that just like a map GPS, we're able to see, look at where we're at right now, our current finances, and what we want to do and what we need to do to get out of it, and it actually having a compass that's showing us how to get out of it. No probability, guys. So, but the first thing we have to understand, we have to first identify what we're in. And so when we look at our finances, again, we talk about we have a concept in my company called building your financial house, or in this case, renovating your financial house. Now, I want to ask you a quick question. I want you to think about this, guys. Let's say I brought you into. I'm a real estate agent, and I have a real nice house that I show you from the outside, and we walk in, and you look around, and you see all of the electricity on the outside of the walls. Okay, how safe would that be? Think about it. If you have children, that's a no-no. You're gonna have to tape, put tape 3 feet away from the wall saying, "Do not walk past this line." This is a very dangerous house. In this case here, nobody's gonna want to go for that. But guys, when we look at our finances in that matter, that's what our finances look like. The electricity is on the outside of the walls. It's dangerous. One little move messes up everything. And so, if we're looking at a house, we would say, well, if I'm gonna take this house, I'm gonna renovate it. I need to move the electricity, get this on the inside of the walls. Any other matters that I need to get together, I want to get these founded and prepared and corrected so that when I'm in this house, it is safe and it is sanctified. So what I'm going to give you guys is a foundation, is a blueprint of what I call renovating your financial house. For those that are out there that are saying, I need help in my finances, I need to get out of debt, I need to get things in order. How do I get things in order? This is what I'm preparing for you, and I want to show for you right now. And guys, this is the information piece. I don't expect anybody to take the information that I'm giving them and saying, okay, I'm going to take this and do it. If that were the case, guys, we would have a much different world today. It is taking the information that you're given and then saying, I need this, and then saying, okay, in needing this, can you help me? That's what I'm here for, guys. And I have a wonderful team that backs me and does this for a living, where we have been changing lives for many, many years. I'll talk about that in more detail. So I'm just going to share my screen really quickly to show you what I would consider our financial house. Okay, building your financial house, guys. When it comes to our finances and money, they all make up a certain foundation, a certain part of the house. And the question is, what is what? Okay, and like I said, if you're living in a house, nobody is going to want to live in a house and say, you know what, I can afford to live in a house without a roof or with a weak roof, or I can afford to live in a house with thin walls or poor walls or no foundation. I want a house that has all of the necessities it needs so that I'm going to be safe. So what does how do finances associate with a financial house? So guys, the first thing we're going to talk about is the foundation of the house. The first thing we build in the house when you start building a house is you got to build the foundation. The foundation is is the start of everything. Nothing can be built upon until the foundation is built. Well, what is considered the foundation in the financial house? Guys, if you've ever heard of income protection, okay, that is the foundation of a financial house. For some who may not know or may have not have heard the term income protection, you may have heard life insurance, asset protection, some form in the matter that in the case that if I lose my job, if something happens to the breadwinner in the house, my family is still covered and still protected. This is important. There are many people out here because of a poor that do not have the foundation, a foundation in their financial house. What I mean by that, they do not even have income protection. They're basically taking everything going by, knowing they need it, but if something happens to the breadwinner, well, then every plan that they had, their dreams, their desires that they all had astutes to do, all go left field because the breadwinner is gone. Okay, with the benefit of what income protection is able to provide is something that now, if in case God forbid the breadwinner passes, the family still has time to get themselves in order. They can still fulfill the plans that they look to fulfill. They have some time to think to make these adjustments. It's a huge benefit in the case that is needed. And anybody who has a family, who has loved ones, who has children, and in this case would not want to put their family in a position where if I go, God forbid, or when I go, God forbid, you guys are all messed up. So income protection is the first thing that is essential of each and every one of us having. Okay. Now the question is this. Here's what the objective most people are going to say is, yeah, I need life insurance, or I need income protection, but I can't afford it. And so basically this is the reason why it's like the person who's saying I'm in a trailer home because I can't afford a regular home. But what if I can, what if we can afford it? What if I can show you a way by you reallocating the funds that you already have to where we can use only 2 to 5% of your current income to protect your assets, to protect your family. Okay. The question I want to that I ask for you to you guys today now is, do you have an income replacement program? If you do not have an income replacement program, be honest and say, no, I do not. Would I be interested in getting one if it was only 2 to 5% of my income or less? Why not? We need it anyway. We're all going to go at some point. So the next thing, guys, once we talk about the foundation, now we want to get to the roof. Okay, a solid roof is very, very, very important. And what is associated to of a solid roof when it comes to our finances? Legal protection. Okay. Most people in the working class do not have proper legal protection. I talk to people all the time who get messed up. They get defrauded by somebody and they say, I want to get a lawyer, but man, getting a lawyer costs more than the problem in and of itself. So guess what? They end up just eating the problem. Okay. And so there's so many people where, so we just deal with situations. It's what it is. I just take a loss on it. But this is something, guys, that is essential in our financial house that we cannot go without, or in this case here. And like I said, in a house, we all need a roof. This is that roof. Okay. One of the things that is very, very important that each and every one of us should have when we have money, when we have assets, is a living will and a power of attorney. Why? Because guess what, guys? Tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow's not promised as far, and we can go any day. We can become sick any day. And any assets that are in our power, the last thing we ever want to do is position them to be in a place where they have to go through probate. Guys, probate is the worst place you ever want your assets to have to go through. It is what destroys families. Okay, it is what puts It is what puts resources in the hands of people who do not deserve to have them. Okay, so if you just say to yourself, you know, these are my assets, these are the things that I want, this is what I want to pass down to A, B, and C, and how much, I'm able to do that with a living will. And in a matter where I'm unable to think for myself, I have a power of attorney or a limited power of attorney. Most people, this is a need that most people that everyone needs, that most people do not have, because they say, I can't afford a lawyer. Now, my question is, do you have a will? And if you have if you don't have a will, do you want a will? Okay. So this is something that's really such a, and what if we're able to get you that with the money that you're already using? I'll get into that in a minute, okay? That's going to be the icing on the cake with this. Okay. The next thing we want to get into. Okay, we're going to talk about the walls. You know, this is where we're going to build the doors, the windows, and remember what I said before, guys, with the walls, where, you know, when you build walls, the electricity is to be built on the inside of the walls so that you have a safe house. But now, electricity built on the outside of the walls is an unsafe house. It's a house that no one can really afford, where if things go bad, you know, something happens, you know, we got a problem here. So what is the example of electricity in the financial world? Guys, we all know this word very, very well. It's 4 letters and it's spelled DEBT, debt. Okay. Everybody deals with debt in some form or another. But when we have electricity that is on the outside of the walls, that's where we're in the matter where we have debt that is so up to the wazoo that basically it's taking up more of our money than the money that we're bringing in. And ways that we fall into these debts is when we have revolving debt like credit cards, we have our mortgage, student loans, car note. You add all of these things up, and then you look at the income you're bringing in, as you have like very little to nothing left, if anything. And this is the reason why we're in the situation we're in. Okay, so to renovate this house, we have to create a program in a way to get the electricity on the outside of the walls and build into the inside of the walls. How are we going to do that, guys? The first thing we want to introduce to your financial house is what I like to call an emergency fund. Okay? What is an emergency fund? It is the replacement of the credit card. Let me just say this really quickly, guys. I talked to tons of people when over this subject matter and getting out of debt, and these people are giving me excuses of why they need to keep debt because they got to build credit, guys. And the thing that I say to, I laugh at them and I tell them, I said, credit is the devil. And they look at me with this weird, like, what do you mean credit is the devil? You know, I need an 800 credit score so I can have low interest on the things that I'm buying. And I tell them, I say, I understand that. That's not the devil. It's the devil because we live in a system out here, in a system where Wall Street has intentionally taught people to think on a matter on not understanding money, not understanding how money works, and as a result, positioning you where you have to rely on credit to get ahead. They understand all of these things, and they're positioning each and every one of us in a matter so that we can make them filthy rich. And as a result, they're saying, if you want something, well, hey, you know, you got to prove to us that you can pay it back. All right. And as a result, that right there is wrong, because if you educated people on finance correctly, we would not have this issue. Would there be credit? Yes, but not by the needs that I'm going about making sacrifices to create debt and add debt so that I can prove something to myself. So let me give you an example, guys, when it comes to credit, because in perspective. If you talk to a person who is very wealthy, and guys, I'm getting this, everything I'm getting from you is coming from those who are in the 7-figure market. And you talk to the person who's very wealthy, you talk about credit, they sit there and they kind of roll their eyes. They say the only time I consider credit is when when the lenders are paying me back. And you're like, huh? What do you mean? So what it is that, guys, when you have assets, you don't need credit. Okay. If you have an asset value, tangible asset value of $500,000, and you need to take out a loan for $75,000 to repair your house, guess what? When you go to the bank and they look at you, you know what they're going to say to you? They're going to say, "You sure you don't need more?" We have a great program. If you just go up a little bit more, it give you even better. You can do more with it. More? No, I don't need any more. Why would they be so open to giving you more? Because you have tangible assets. They're looking at it this way. If they don't pay the debt, those assets are mine. And then, of course, and then in the case, they're secured. And you're going to get the best rates on everything in this case here. So this is the reason why we want to get out of the mindset that credit is the way. Credit is not the way. Assets is the way. If you want to take out debt, and in this case it doesn't matter, do that. But do that under secured assets. And that's what I'm here to also show you guys. So the first thing we want to remove, one of the number one things that people are dealing with, that keeps them in debt, is revolving credit. I call them credit cards. Visa, American Express, MasterCard. They even got the credit cards to make you feel good, like you on top with the top cards in this matter here. But those guys, they use it for a different reason. Okay. I ask people this question here. Listen, if you had the choice if you had the choice to paying someone, would you rather pay Visa 19% interest, or would you rather earn 9% interest on your own? Just giving an example. I've never heard anybody say I'd rather pay Visa instead of pay myself. Okay, so now there's no excuse of you wanting the credit card. I'm going to introduce to you guys the emergency fund. Well, what's an emergency fund? This is something that we're going to we're going to create, allocating money out of the money you're already generating to go into a fund, and with the goal starting up at least 2 months living expenses, up to about 6 months living expenses. And where are we going to put it? In a bank account? No way. No way. Not in a bank account, not in a savings account. Maybe 20% of it. Okay. No, we're going to put this in an investment account. In an investment account, like a money market account that can generate anywhere like 5 to 6% interest, that when it sits in there, it is going to make money for you while it's in there. What is the emergency fund for? Not for going out to play, not to do silly stuff, for emergencies. Man, my battery died on my car. My alternator went out. My kid is in some financial troubles. Okay. And so I have resources that I can now help them. For those of you guys that were on the call last week, and I was giving the example of time management, one of the quadrants of time I talk about is called urgent, non-important. Okay, it sounds like they don't make sense, because how is it urgent but not important? Urgent, not important. This is the quadrant when you're dealing with a matter that is urgent to somebody else. Okay, but as a result, it doesn't directly affect you. And so when you're in the position of having an emergency fund, and somebody is in need, whether it's your child, a brother, sister, somebody that you need that needs help, it's an urgent matter to them, and you can help them. Hey, here you go. You give them the money that they need. They either pay you back, or you just pay yourself back. You want to pay yourself back. Why? Because it's generating compound interest. Okay. And so, but as a result, what is the other benefit of the emergency fund? One is to eliminate the need of a credit card, and two, emergency fund is also a hedge of protection for your assets. Okay. What do we define as assets, guys? One of them I already named already. Income protection is an asset. You have life insurance, it is an asset. If you have $500,000, $1 million on yourself, $100,000 on yourself, you are worth that value. Okay, makes sense. You pass, God forbid, that money is going to your family to taking care of them. That's value. Okay, and the other form of assets that we'll get into is investments. When we talk about investments, guys, that is another investment. You might work a job where you're earning a 401k. Or 403b if it's a nonprofit, or you might have some other investment vehicles that you've already started. Guys, the worst thing that you ever want to feel like you have to do when a loved one is in need, or when you're going through a serious matter, is pull out of your assets. You know, it hurts it burns my stomach when I hear people say, yeah, man, I had some serious matters of going through a divorce. I had to pull money out of my 401k. Oh, it hurts so bad. And you know, this matter, because you pull money that is really hard for you to get back. And so as a result, we want to create a hedge of protection to where you're not touching these things. That is where the emergency fund comes into place. Okay. And now you might ask yourself the question, how do I build an emergency fund when my money is tight? Great answer, guys. We have a concept, and it's in the book that we provide all of our clients. One of the concepts is called pay yourself first. with the pay yourself tool, what you're doing, what we're teaching people is one, thinking about it. If you're hungry and your stomach's hurting, and do you want to sit at the back of the line, or would you like to be moved up to the front of the line? Never heard anybody say that I want to sit in the back of the line. Okay, if I have the option to be moved to the front of the line, bring me to the front of the line. Okay, so when it comes to making money, when I get my paycheck, the government takes their money, and most people after that, they pay their debts, they pay their insurance, and anything else that they have left over, they save. And in most cases, when people are in a financial deficit, there is no savings. So the objective in this case here is I'm going to pay myself after the government takes their money. Okay, how do I do that? Let's say you have a goal. You know what? I like to save. I would love to save $100 a month. Whatever that is, okay, that's great. That's your goal. But here's the thing: where most people fail is when things happen and they're unable to save the money the money that meets their goal. And so guess what? They don't save anything at all. And so a week goes by, and another week goes by, and you talk to them, hey, yeah, man, I haven't got a chance to save any money. And so I say, so rather than focusing on being goal oriented, I want you to focus on the concept of just putting money aside. So set a goal of $100 a month, whatever that is that you have as a goal. But here's the deal: if you can't meet the goal, pay yourself something. Okay. I've had times where it's just like, you know what? I can only give myself $5 right now, but I'm going to give myself $5. I can give myself $20. If I can give myself more, I'll do so. Seasons change. Okay. And what am I doing when I'm paying myself by following this method is I'm creating the habit of saving money. Now I'm always in a place where I'm never without money because I'm always saving money. I have money set to the side. Okay. And that the first goal, so we're not just doing this for no reason. The first goal is I'm setting this money aside to build my emergency fund. Okay. Now, now anything that we're going to be doing, guys, it's not going to be one step at a time. We're doing all these things all together. Okay. When we renovate a house, we're getting everything all together. We want to get this house renovated as fast as possible. So the other thing that we're going to be looking at in association to building our emergency fund and creating at least 3 to 6 month living expenses is debt elimination. Okay. How do we get out of debt, guys? Paying the monthly payment every single month will take forever to get out of debt. If you have a mortgage, you're going to pay that house off 3 times over. If you finance a car, you're paying that car 2 to 3 times over. Whatever you finance, and in this case, it is made and created for you to pay multiple times. Guys, I've worked in the mortgage business, and some things that I've learned that was like a wow factor to me is that when you buy a home, the first 5 years of your monthly payment is interest. Why? Because in the investment world, companies buy your mortgage and a group of pooled mortgages together, and they sell them to investors as mortgage-backed securities. And so every time you pay your mortgage, they're making money. And the reason why nothing's going towards your principal is because those investors want to make that money within the first 5 years before you refi. Okay, so anything we do, and in this case here, and in the matter, it's long term. We all know the deal from this, and in this we've had experiences with this. So the objective is eliminating debt. How do we eliminate debt? Not by just paying the debt one by one for what it is. What we have as a strategy is called debt stacking. Well, how does that work? Most people think about it like this. Most people, when they have a debt plan, they pay their debt off and they say, you know what? I freed up $200 of income now that I've paid off this debt. Okay. And what do they use that $200 for? Most people can't even remember. Okay. And if you're in a question, if you say, yeah, I really don't know what I remember it for, that's not a good use of the $200. So our objective is to say, instead of taking that $200 that you've now freed up because you paid off this debt, we're going to now stack that $200 on the next debt that you're paying. And you're going to now pay that off. Okay. And that next debt paid off is going to save you an additional $200. Now you have $400 saved up. And we're going to take that $400 and we're going to stack that onto the next debt and paying off all the way down till we get to the mortgage where now everything is paid off in a fraction of the time. Guys, people have looked at their debt analysis, their needs analysis, and they're looking at it's going to take them 30 years to get out of debt. And then we'll show them by following this debt elimination program, 9 years. Okay, they have a debt elimination date. And what does a debt freedom date look like, guys? It is the greatest thing in the world, because we all might be saying, yeah, I want to be able to save some money, have some money set aside to invest, $75, $100, that's great. But imagine investing your debt. If we all can think about, what, when I look at my monthly debt, not expenses, my monthly debt, I spend $1,500 a month in debt. When I look at my mortgage, my car, all of these things here, okay, what does that $1,500 look like at a 9% rate of return if I'm investing that every single month? Guys, in a couple in a couple of decades, millions of dollars. Now, for those that might be saying to yourself, well, you know what? I don't know if I might be around in a couple of decades. Understand. I understand that. Totally understandable. But your money will. Okay? If you have children, if you have grandchildren, what you're leaving is an estate. Okay? The money just grows and grows and grows. In 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, it grows. Okay? And you leave an estate for them to where now they have something to start with that's at a greater level than what you initially started with. It is the greatest gift that a grandparent or a great parent can give to their children and their children and their children's children. This is the way. This is the way and the will of God. What as far as what the Lord has led us to do, to be able to provide wealth, so that we can be able to provide inheritance for our children and our children's children. It's all right here, guys. So eliminating the debt and then turning that money that was where the compound interest was going to these companies making the millions. Now I'm making this money now. It is a amazing feeling, guys. Okay. And while we're in this debt elimination program, we're able to, we're also looking at, basically having, a debt freedom day. We're also looking at becoming an investor. How do we become an investor? Some of the money that we're using, that we've allocated for you, is now going to go towards investing. You can start investing right now. We have programs where you can start building your investments as little as starting as $50 a month. Okay. Everything we have is subjective for the needs of the working class. Okay. And how we do that is, of course, according to the way that you will. But what's really great about this is having that financial GPS is showing you this is what this is going to look like, what you're doing right now. And then once your debt freedom date comes in, this is what this is going to look like in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now. I've never seen anybody say, I'll pass. I don't believe it. I don't think so. That's not going to go. Never seen anybody do it. The only thing that I've seen people might possibly say is, well, how are you sure that this can possibly work? There may be a few skeptics in this matter here. You know what, guys? I'm not a salesman, okay? I'm a financial needs provider, okay? I'm a solutions provider. So my matter is, being a skeptic, let's talk, okay? I love to talk about this. And I asked a person a question in here, because some of you guys might hear some of the things that I'm saying right now, and you say, man, that sounds good. This is too good to be true. I've been dealing with finances for all my life. My grandparents, my mom, my dad, we've all had the same issues. I've heard people talk like this before. I've heard of Dave Ramsey, whatever. And in this case, it's not that simple. Guys, yes, it is. And here's how I want to reframe your mind to look at this, so you can see how simple this is, guys. All right. I want each and every one of you guys to ask yourself the question, ask yourself what you're good at. Okay. And for the example, I'm just giving the example. When I've asked people, I say, name something you're good at. Somebody may say, you know what? I'm really good at cooking. Okay. And I say, that's awesome. I say, so now when you're in the kitchen and you're cooking a meal, are you preparing this meal, sweating and nervous and saying, I hope this turns out right. I hope this turns out right the last time. Or are you confident as a stone and saying, this is going to be awesome. Okay. And so, and so if you're good, the person's going to say, oh man, I know I'm going to do a great job. I said, awesome. I said, now, next question. I want you to name something that you're not good at. Somebody might say, I'm not good at cleaning. Okay, understood. So when it comes to cleaning, and somebody puts you in the role of cleaning, are you walking out with your chest held high and say, I'm going to make this place immaculate? Or are you kind of like saying, I don't know, I'm going to do my best. This is not my thing. And in this case here, in both associations, your confidence is associated in terms of your ability and what you're good at. You're not good at it. It makes sense that I don't expect to be good at it. You are good at it. It does make sense that I have expectations of doing good. Guys, when it comes to the money that we all deal with, money is considered this gray area that we are all doing the wrong thing trying to get the right result. That is why it's so hard. Okay. Some people may, oh, I've done some things, you know, I've won the lottery, or I've had a few matters that's worked out for me. Yes, there are options that are out there, availabilities that you can do that. But guess what, guys? A broke clock is right twice a day. Alrighty. So do you want to rely on a broke clock, or do you want to rely on a fully set up clock where there is no probability associated to the equation, that when we do A, B, and C, you're going to get E, F, and G all the way to X, Y, and Z. Okay. And so that's what we're having, what we're creating when we have all of these things in order. So the next question I want to ask you guys, yourself, um, ask you here, you know, do you have a plan to duplicate your retirement check? Okay. If you don't, let's get one. Okay. If you do, awesome. Kudos to you. More people need to hear what you're doing to find out what you're doing as well. And if that, we can go to, you know, look to go the extra mile from there. Okay. And the last thing, guys, we talk about with the financial house is for some, we'll ask the you know, that, let's say if you're parents, or you could be grandparents as well, college savings plans. Now, guys, you know, some people have their you know, views on college. Some people like it, some people don't. To each his own. But regardless of the matter, one of the best things you can do for your children is create a college savings plan. You know, I want my child is 6 years old. They want to go to school. They want to become a doctor. Did you know that there are savings plans that you can invest into their college funds right now at the rates of college tuition today, rather than waiting until they're 18 and they have to pay the inflated college tuition rates then, and now and that takes care of it? Or you can invest in a college savings program where and that's, it's not necessarily for a specific school, but for the purpose that they want to go to college. If they choose to go to college, they can use it for that. If not, they can use it for anything else up to they're 30 years old. Well, how does that sound? That sounds like a good deal to me. The question I have right now is, oops, I'm sorry, went up one two step and one two high. Do you have an education account? And do you want an education account? Do you know somebody who wants or is looking for an educational account? It may not be you, but we all know somebody in the case that that is looking for these things here. Okay, so next, to going into sharing a little bit as far as going into what I do specifically here. Oops, sorry. Okay. I'm asking everybody this question right now. Do you currently have a written financial game plan that addresses these challenges in your financial house? And my next question is, would you want one if it was free? And guys, the company that I work with is called Primerica, and we provide these three things. One, for each one, we provide a book, like we call How Money Works, which gives you a rundown that changes the trajectory of how you understand finances, and to where you can make the proper decisions of with your own finances. You're not taking my word for it. You know it for yourself. Two, a coach that is licensed and trained, like I said, that'll get you to from A to Z. And three, a free financial needs game plan that shows you where you're at and what you need to do to get where you're at, and using the very funds that you already are using. We're not talking about I need to make a few extra dollars to do this, or I'll do that in 6 months when this kicks in. We're doing this with where you're already starting at, guys. The worst position to be in is in a position where I need help, but my help is reliant on something in the future. Guys, the future is not promised. Okay. And the worst case is that I'm expecting things to change in 6 months, and 6 months comes down the road and things don't change. Okay. We just lost 6 months of time that you can't get back. For those again who heard my financial my time management series, I talked about that in deep. Time is the most valuable asset that we cannot get back. So we don't want to do things as a means of wasting time. So starting where we're at right now is the starting line. Okay. Now, just to give you a little bit, you might ask a little bit more questions about what I want to kind of flip this now around more so into the matter of Primerica, the company that that is my company, and who we are and what we do, and give you more of a detail of this in this case here. So when it comes to Primerica, just so you know, For those who do not know about this company, we are a Fortune 1000 company. Um, and um, and as a result, basically, we have been named the number one trusted life insurance company in the country and number three most trusted financial company in the country by Investors Business Daily. And as a result, we have over 50,000 clients. We average over 50,000 clients a month. Okay, we help people with getting their finances in order. We help people with all kind of plans. I'm going to get into that in a little bit more of a detail as well. But nobody does the things that we do. We're not just, we're ones where we are, again, changing people's financial lives. And this is a sphere of all of the products that we offer, guys. And you guys are looking at this. This is a lot. I'll go into some more detail in this as we go on, but just kind of letting you know, these are all the companies that work with us. Okay. And for me, guys, I am blessed to be under an individual who sits on the board of the company. In fact, this is the individual, as you guys see, if you guys have ever heard of Rocket Mortgage, I used to work there, by the way. He was the one that sat down with Rocket Mortgage and they got Rocket Mortgage to working with us, that introduced us to being able to do mortgages, guys. And I'll get into the detail of how our mortgages work as well in a minute. So so now, just to kind of give you an idea, I just want to talk a little bit about the industry, guys. And this is kind of giving you an idea of basically everything we're dealing with. You guys are familiar with these things. Is that in the business that we're in this industry, there is more money in money than anything else, and we are the most residual industry in the world. Okay, we're the number one cause of stress in marriage is fighting about money and finances. American Medical Association says the number one cause of high blood pressure, diabetes, strokes, heart attacks, and suicide is stress, and these are associated to finances. Okay, money is in the stress is it has an effect on our health. It has an effect on our mindset. It has an effect on our mood, on everything, guys. So when we answer this matter here, we're going to see a trajectory change in all these other matters as well. Okay, so just a little bit about with the details of Primerica. Okay. Like I said, this company was not started by Wall Street. We're not a Wall Street company. Okay. Wall Street companies that are out there making all these millions of dollars are out there doing that, working with upper income class individuals who are getting all of these things, but they're the only ones. They care not to work with the working class. So in fact, like I said, the things we do for free because we do not want these to be caveats that get in the way with helping people. Um, and so, unlike this company was started by a group of high school teachers and coaches. Forbes, as I said, magazine has gave us the highest score among 50 of the most trustworthy financial companies. We're the only company able to help people with total financial health, including debt, insurance, legal protection, investments, and income. We're the only company welcoming 50,000 new clients per month, and we've documented more people making 250, a quarter of a million, and $1 million per year than any other company in the world. Okay, and so um, a little bit about our life insurance, guys. We're not a life insurance company. We sell life insurance. But because our objective is for full financial health, we've created it in a way where it's the most beneficial for you guys. We are the least expensive life insurance. We sell the least expensive life insurance in the market from the age you purchase it until the age of 100. Guys, if you want to go do some research right now, go to Globe Life, Nationwide, anywhere. Nobody does term life age to 100. We are the only ones that does term life age to 100. And how that works is you get a policy that you start with right now. That term premium that you have right now is going to be the premium term that you're going to have all the way till age to 100. Nobody does that. Okay. All of our policies come with a terminal illness benefit. What does that mean? Is that in the case you get terminally ill, God forbid, you can waive your premium. We'll waive your premium, and you can use up to $250,000 of your policy for medical expenses, or 40%, whichever is less. We also have what you call an increasing benefit rider. This is for individuals that say, I want to start. I want, for what I can afford right now. This is my premium, what I can afford for now, but how we're going to be working with you having more money in the future. Every year, you can increase your premium by $50,000 for up to 10 years, as a goal as well. We also have a very cool feature called banding. And what this is like a hybrid where we're able to create multiple policies within one policy. Let's say you have a mortgage that's going to be paid off in 20 years and you owe $80,000. We're able to create a policy for $80,000 for 20 years. You basically going to takes you this much time to pay off your whatever debts, any other matters. We can create these policies, and now you have something where now I might have $500,000 now, but in 15 years it drops to 350. Another 15 years it drops to 200, and from there it drops down to $50,000. Think about it like this, guys. With the objective of what we do, where you're increasing in asset value, you're earning tangible assets 10, 20, 30 years down the road, you're not going to need the life insurance in the way that you would need it when you first start. So what sense does it make for me to be paying a high premium, in a season where that is the opposite of the season that I initially started it in? It would be great for me to be able to have a premium that has dropped just as the death benefit has dropped, because I now have the tangible assets that have now replaced it. Guys, we call this the theory of decreasing responsibility. Okay. One of the other another great features, we have what we call a no war or terror clause. What does that mean? Is you have a lot of companies that when if a war breaks out, or in any case, they basically and people die, they don't pay out any policies. They have clauses where if a war breaks out, people die, they're not going to get their money. We have a no war terror clause. You get your money regardless, and that doesn't matter. We're the only company who offers that. Okay. Next is investments. Okay. As I mentioned before, we provide complimentary financial needs analysis. We have short surrender schedules for the annuities that we provide. We have resources made available as little as starting as $25 a month. Guys, nowhere does that. You want to go to Raymond James right now? You want to go to Merrill Lynch like right now? They'll make you look like an ant when you say, "Hey, I want to open up an investment for $50." They'll tell you, "Oh, we only deal with accredited investors. We start opening accounts at like 2,500, whatever." And so let's say that you're in a place where I want to do something with my money, but I'm not in a position to do that. That's what we're here for. Okay. So next is oops, sorry, what did I do? I'm sorry, hold on. All right. Next, this is something that we offer for businesses. We have a lot of businesses associated with us, those who are entrepreneurs, small business owners, and those who know that are in business. We have a free savings program for employers we call a payroll deduction plan. This is something that we provide for employers where all employees can save for all things. Guys, I'm going to be going to a school, back to school session next week, where I'm talking to where I'm going to be basically talking with the parents there. I got another meeting with the school itself, with their board meeting, showing them what they can do to benefit the employees as well as the parents with these resources, guys. And people are looking for these things. Okay. The other thing we have is legal protection. You remember what I said with the financial house, the roof, guys, having a solid roof. And so basically, we solved a huge gap for American families by providing a free $1,000 value reel, moving violation representation, IRS audit and lawsuit representation, many other services for now $29 a month, less than $1 per day, guys. And if I'm able to find the money for you that you already have to use it, why not get this established? Okay. The next thing that we have is mortgages. Okay. As I mentioned before, we are not a mortgage company. We offer mortgages. Our objective is financial freedom. Owning a home is an asset, and our objective is we want you to own that home as fast as possible. So, guys, we work with Rocket Mortgage because as our originator, because they are the ones, they're very fast and their process is really great when it comes to closing loans. But we do not use Rocket Mortgage products. We have our own products. We are the only company, guys, that we split people's monthly mortgage into two payments. They pay on the 1st and on the 15th, just a split payment, and we cut their term down by 30%. What does this look like, guys? This means that if you have a 30-year term, just paying 2 times a month, no difference is splitting it into 2 payments, your term is going to drop down to 21 years. We also offer 8-year, 10-year, 15-year terms as mortgages as well, allowing the 30% to go on it as well. Why again? Because we want to get you out of debt as fast as possible. We want to get your money in a position where it's making money for you as fast as possible. Okay. And let's see. Um, lastly, guys, we have a great opportunity that is out here for those that are looking for opportunities. When it comes to solving the income crisis for families, there are tens of thousands of people working part-time, making between $2,000 to $4,000 a month. We're the only place in financial services industry where you can earn ownership while earning $100 to $1 million per year, and attract and retain the highest caliber of people by offering them ownership. The only ones doing that. How do we do that? We have an amazing system. We have an amazing, amazing people, guys. And I can only the only way I can go into more detail in that, guys, is by just showing you with what you have yourself, what we can do with you. And as a result, guys, this is what makes up what we do, how we get people from A to Z. Now, I'm pretty sure that anyone on this call may say in some form or another, there's something on there that interests me. Okay. And whether it's mortgage, whether it's investments, whatever it is, financial needs analysis, it interests me, guys. And as I told you before, if information alone was enough to change people's lives, people would have different lives. In fact, and so as a result, the objective of you needing the coach, needing the help, that's what I'm here for, and my team is here for everybody out here to get each person to point A to point Z. The last thing that I want to leave you guys with before I close, I want to leave you guys with the concept that we have. I like to call the 5 expenditures of which your money falls into. Now, it's not a concept. It's the concept is actually was created by Dave Ramsey. It's called the 5 expenditures that your money goes into. And basically that is going to be taxes. Our money goes to taxes. Then it goes to debt, insurance, savings, and then everything else. Now with Dave Ramsey, if you go in his call and you listen to his, get on his show, he's going to say, okay, we're going to do a total money makeover. I'm going to ask you questions in the everything else column. How much money do you, how often do you go out to eat? Okay, we're going to cut some money down on that. Who's your cell phone carrier? Let's get you a cheaper cell phone carrier. Okay, looking for ways in your normal expenses to cut it down and saying, and basically making you feel like I overspend. And so if I cut my expenses down in how I spend, I will now create money to be able to pay down my debts and get out of debt and be able to invest. Guys, it's an amazing program. When people see it and they watch it, they're like, oh my gosh, you just created $500 for me. This is amazing. Awesome program. Here's the problem. Okay. What this doesn't factor in is life. And with this program, statistics have shown that there's a 5 to 10% success rate. Here's why. Because his program requires discipline. Okay. When you're excited and you want to do it, and I'm all for it, let's go for it. I'm in the mood, I'm starting it, and then left field life hits you, and then you're stressed, you're frustrated. I don't feel like doing this anymore. You go back to the old way of doing things. You don't do the things that you're supposed to be disciplined and trained to do. You don't do it anymore. You fall right back into it. And so as a result, most people who get into this program do not see the results. Not because it doesn't work, but because they don't stick with it. In the case because of discipline matters. Again, my objective, guys, is to work smarter, not work harder. Rather than using a plan that requires discipline, I would rather use a plan that requires something that doesn't require discipline. Hence, the reason why you're in the situation we're in is because of our lack of discipline thereof. So what I educate people on is showing them how we can find money in the other 4 expenditures that they're already spending. So if you're in the working class and you earn a tax return, guys, that's money. Most people get a tax return, on average $3,000 from the government when tax season comes. Okay, most people, if you ask yourself the question, "What did I do with my tax return last year?" Most people can't even remember. Okay, not a good that's not a good matter to think about in this case here. Nothing was done. So, but what if I told you that you can go into your job You can go into your HR and you can say, I would like you to put $250 back into my monthly check. Okay. They can't say no to that. They can't say why. Well, if you do this, no, they have to do it. Okay. $3,000 a year is $250 a month. Okay. If anybody is writing a piece of paper right now, anybody has a piece of paper right now, write it down. Write 250 down on a piece of paper. Okay. Next, we're going to look at the debt column. Okay. How many people have credit cards? Tons of people have credit cards. I see people on average from up to the limit 3 credit cards, 5 up to 9 credit cards. Okay, on average, I can find create $150 out of the credit card debt just by having them pay the minimum on the larger ones and put all the money towards the smallest one to pay it off first. Okay, $150 basically we found out of your credit card or your revolving debts. Okay, write $150 below 250. Okay, what's the next thing we have money that goes to? Insurance. If you don't have insurance, I hope you do. Car insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance, insurance. Okay, on average, we're saving people on average in these 3 columns $80. In saving them on these 3 matters there. Okay, I want you to write $80 below 150. And the last thing that I ask a person, how much do you save? What do you usually save a month? They'll say, I like to save at least $100 a month. Okay, whatever they say, when it comes to savings, I basically take 20% of that. So I say, okay, $100 a month, write $20 down below $80. And I want you to add all of that up. And when you add all of this up, guys, this adds up to be $500. What are you looking at? $500 that we just found out of the money that you are already spending. And with this $500, we're going to use this money to do what? Renovate your financial house. Okay. If you have a home and you need renovations, what do? You pull money out of your home through a refi or a HELOC or whatever so that you can renovate your home. We're pulling money out of the money you're already making so that you can renovate your financial house. How does this look? Okay, when I need to renovate my foundation, the life insurance, income protection. All right, I'm going to subtract $100 out of that, $80 out of that for the income protection that I need. Okay, now we subtract that from there. There's $400 left. I need to start my emergency fund. What's going to be a good start? And in this case, another $100, $50, whatever way we want to look at it. And in this case here, okay, and I'm going to subtract that. Now I have $450 left. I got $50 going to an emergency fund every paycheck. Okay, and then now I'm left with $450 that's going to go towards paying down debt and creating in an investment account. We can do it this a couple of different ways. We can show, hey, if you pay 50% towards debt, 50% towards investments, this is what this is going to look like in this much time. If we do 20% towards investments, 20% and 80% towards debt, this is what it's going to look like. Totally up to you, but you get to see the numbers and you get to choose based on your circumstance. And then from there, once we have this matter here, we have money that's down to pay down debt. If we have any extra money we want to use towards college savings for our kids or any other things, we have that now. But we've just created money to get things in order. Oh, the last thing is the roof. Okay, you know what? That will. I want to be able to have access to being able to have a living will or a power of attorney, or end of the case, something just happened. Some guy just did me wrong. I can have access to a legal counsel who can just tell me what I need to do just like that for like $29. Okay. And then on top of that, Queen Benny spoke in the last message on know your customer. And when it comes to identity crisis, we have identity protection for just $11. You take $11 and $29, that's $40 that you can now take out of that money. And now we have all the resources needed to renovate your financial house. And then showing you this is where you're going to be 10, 20 years from now. Now, the question is, guys, you got to ask yourself, or just ask anybody from a common sense standpoint, why would I not do this if I'm already doing it? Okay, if I'm already using this money that is going to that's going to take me 30 years or whatever to do that where my house is in poor foundation, why would I not make this change so that my house can get in poor foundation? Unless I have no intention on moving on in the next day or so, or I don't care about my family or care about anything, it's common sense to say I need to get my financial game plan in order and get my financial house in order. And guys, that is what we're here to do. And so, for guys, you have my information. Dr. Derek has my information. You have my website where you can reach out to me. And you also have my email to be able to reach out to me. I'm available. And my objective is to sit down with you guys, work with you guys for whatever case it is. Let me close my screen here. For whatever the case it is, and getting you in order. And one of the best assets that you can become, guys, is an asset where your financial, your life is in financial benefit, and then you can be one to help others. How? By showing them, hey, this is what this is what he did for me. He can do this for you too. How much? The only $0, just the money that you are currently using to that you're dealing with right now. How is that possible? Don't bother trying to tell everybody how it's possible. Send them to me. I'll take care of it from there. Guys, I want to thank you for your time. It is a huge blessing and a huge honor again, Dr. Derek and everyone. And I definitely look forward to being back on again and hearing from everyone else. Be blessed.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, King Timothy Ferguson. All right. Yeah. All right. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you very much, King Tim. Really appreciate. And I do hope that everyone was listening. And if you need a little help, the man with the plan, with the financial house, is ready and waiting for you. As he said, all this information is right there in the YouTube description. So if you are on the Zoom call right now and you want his information, just click on the YouTube link, any one of the YouTube links, and you will see the information right there in the description of YouTube. All right, awesome. And at this time, we're just going to ask, of course, none other than our First Lady, Queen Dr. Benny, for her comments or question or.
Whoa, King Timothy. Well, you have a lot of knowledge when it comes to finance, and I will say astonishing presentation. I really want to thank you. I really want to thank you. I appreciate you, and you make us to understand that we have to learn how to protect our money. And in order for us to protect, some of us need to tell the truth, there are a lot of people who, first, they cannot even save money. I know they can't. And you make us understand that if you know how to save the money, sometimes it's good to save your money should in case. Let me say saving raining days. Sometimes people may lose their job and they don't have money now in order to pay their rent and the rest. So when you are working, it's good for you to start saving money somewhere. And if you cannot save the money, then I believe you guys can call King Timothy for that. Now, you said something about the college saving. I will let you know, I spoke to my niece, no, my cousin. Immediately she got pregnant with her daughter. And do you know that her daughter graduated this year, and she will be going to Maryland University because she listened to me. The daughter has school fees, right? Because she saved a lot of money for her to go to Maryland University. I really appreciate that. And you said if you want to become investors, I know that a lot of people here may want to become an investor if they are willing to do that. As for me, when the time comes, when I start making dollars, that's when I'll come back to you for that from our own passive. When the money comes, we will come back to you to save the money. I know I can save my money. So, but I am talking on the behalf of our affiliates here. If they are willing to, hopefully they will come back to you. I just want to appreciate you. Thank you for the knowledge that you are installing into us. We appreciate you, and we pray that those who have not been here or those who did not attend this webinar today, hopefully they will listen to the video, and they will come back because they want to come and listen to you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, King Timothy, and we hope to see you next week. Thank you, King Dr.
Right,
Derek.
wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, First Lady Queen Dr. Benny. I really appreciate. Anyone with any questions or any statement, any comment? Anyone? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, wonderful. All right, I guess because the information is there, so that they can speak with you. Just look in the description and you'll see the information. Go ahead, Queen Debbie.
I had a question on the chat for our presenter.
All right, question at the chat.
I can read the question, or maybe if it's okay.
Yes, read the question.
Okay. Awesome presentation, King Timothy. Does your company give support without the requirement of existing asset and the release of medical records? King Timothy.
Actually, that's a very good question. Thanks for asking. So what comes for the actual like life insurance or so, we do do underwriting, and so medical records or so are things that they are going to look into. It doesn't automatically mean you're not going to be qualified, but it's something that is taken into an account. If you have investments elsewhere, I mean, that's not a problem. It's, in this case, we're just ones to actually show, where you're at, show you what you have or help you from wherever you're at there. Sorry, did that answer your question?
I'm sorry, it was breaking up, but it's okay. I'll find a way to get your contact and speak with you. It was breaking up. I didn't hear half of it, but it's all right. Thank you.
All right, his contact is in the description. Just look in the description in YouTube, and you'll see his website, his phone contact, and also his email. So all of them is there, and I'll also text them, WhatsApp them to you. Okay. Queen Theda, go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Derek. Question for Tim, a suggestion. I probably understand the concept. Well, what would you think of someone who, I mean, you're trying to get out of debt, yes, but at the same time, say you want to purchase a car. Would you suggest that if you have the money upfront to purchase the car by cash, or should you take the car out on terms?
Excellent question. Thank you. I always recommend cash. I'll give you a little bit of a story. This has been a while back now, but when I was at 2008, around when my first daughter, my wife was pregnant with my first daughter, I lost 90% of the clientele of my personal training business, and my wife was pregnant and was put on permanent bed rest, so she lost like 60% of her income. And at this point, we were 2 years in the marriage. Everything was financed. We had credit cards. Our furniture was financed. Our computer was financed. Our cars, everything was financed. And so when we lost everything, all I could afford was my car note and rent. And everything else basically that's my credit fell apart. Everything just fell apart. And I remember I stood outside of my door one day and said, I'm never going to allow myself to get into this position again. And I said to myself, if I cannot afford a car cash, I can't afford it. And so I made the decision from there to buy cars cash. It's not brand new, but hey, it's it's still nice. It's, I want to get something that's nice. But the good thing about it is that now if something happens and my money's, turns funny, I don't have to worry about at some point my car is not going to be in my driveway. So anything, if you have cash, cash is always going to be the best route to go about doing things. And the other thing that I would say is in understanding when you have cash is learning the objective of putting your money to work for you, and putting your and what I mean by that is when you're putting your money to work for you, your cash is going to generate interest. Think about an apple tree and it harvesting apples. And you know, you're never going to chop down branches if it's harvesting apples, but you can, what you can do with that, with those apples, sell them, eat them, sow seeds. And it's the same way you can do with money, with it being a principle, and then it generates interest. And the greatest thing is to be in a position where I can live off of the interest, and that's what can show you as well.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Can I say something? When it comes to the car, King Timothy, you are 100% correct that it's better to pay cash. There is, like, as for me, let's give an example. I have 2007 car, right? I would rather pay cash than paying, let me just say, 500 every month by buying the car. No, not shooting case. You lose your job. What happened? It's over. So I better pay cash. As for me, I would do so. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And one thing that I would say in this case here, because I'm not against financing. Okay, so this is not a matter where I'm against financing. It's the devil. No, I'm about order, and it's when it comes to our finances are out of order. So my thing would be is if I'm going to take out a credit card, if I'm going to take out a loan, the interest that I'm paying on this loan is less than the interest that I'm generating. Does that make sense? Okay, and that's what you want to create. I'm gonna create in the matter where I'm still making more money with my money than what I am having to pay out. And so it's basically is establishing a proper order. You know, now that when you're doing things, so you're not in this place where, you know, what most of us deal with when it comes to our finances falling into left field.
All right. Wonderful. All right. Thank you very much, King Tim. Thank you for the eloquent way that you present and, of course, answer questions. Thank you very much, Queen Theodore and Queen Debbie and Queen Dr. Benny. It's all about my mother. My mother, used to say, "Don't red eye." I think that is where most of the problem starts, is because we're red eye. In other words, we covet. We want what our friends have, and we are not contented with what we have because our friends have it. And that's the problem. You need to work off of your steam. That's it. Work off your own steam. You see, we put ourselves in problem. And the first way that we put ourselves in problem is saying that we have to. Oh, I have to have a car. No, you don't have to. There's no such thing as have to have a car, right? Because society has wiggled our brain or wired our brain, that we think we have to. And so, we run ourselves in more problems. I have never financed a car. Never. No. Because my mother say, my mother again. My mother say, never owe anybody anything. Be contented with what you have. When you can afford it, then you can purchase. No envy another person's and what they have. And so I flip it around. You see, people buy the car and they kill off themselves after go get a next job in order to pay for it. No. I would suffer the consequence of walking, taking bus, etc., etc. Save my money, and then buy my car. So that's the best way to go. Fabulous way to go. So that is the way that I've always lived my life. I never finance a vehicle. No. Mm-mm. If I need something, I save up, buy it. And cash always work. Cash always work. Nothing is wrong with cash. When you have the greens in the jeans, you pay for it, and it's done. Done. I learned from early. When you finance a car, you're paying for 3 cars, maybe 4, depending on how long they give you. So no, I you know, try let us live our lives in our realm. If your realm is $1,000 a week, live a $800 or a $700 life. That's the way to go. Stop living a $2,000 life when you're at $1,000. Stop. So I think most people need to give King Tim a call so that your life can be on track financially, right? Those who have their student loans and want to know a way to pay it off, I think this person will help you. You know, I do have those issues, fortunately, thank the Lord. And stop putting yourself in more debt. Every time they send you an advertisement in the post and you need this credit card, it's, low interest rate. And you take out and you have about 4 credit card in your purse already or in your wallet already, but you're still getting another one. Let us stop. Let us stop. Let us stop. So thank you very much, King Tim. So next week, Thursday, he will give you another episode. But at this time, we just want Queen Jacqueline Warner to give her closing remarks.
Well, like I said, thank you. Oh, first of all, let me just thank King Tim Ferguson for that amazing presentation and helping us to understand that I am in a trail. You know? Anyway, I ain't got it together yet, but I'm heading that way. And thanks for bringing that information to us and educating us, because we don't learn this in school. Because it's not for us to learn in school, because it's to keep us oppressed and keep us in debt and keep us not to grow. So thanks for sharing your wisdom and your experience with us. We appreciate you very much, and we look forward to hearing more from you. Thanks.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Jacqueline Warner. All right, over to you, King Timothy Ferguson Jr., for your closing.
That wasn't my closing, Dr. Derrick. That was my comment to Mr. Ferguson.
Okay, so give your
So
closing.
I'm just in my closing thoughts. Menopause and andropause are not the end of life. of life vitality. They are transitions into a new season of wisdom, balance, and holistic self-care. I have a quote from Dr. Michelle Woolhouse, and it actually says, menopause is a time when a woman transforms from the fertile years into wisdom years. Okay, so the menopause transition is one of the most powerful experiences in a woman's life, a time for reverence and respect for her body, her fertility, and her intuition and wisdom. In Asian or in Chinese, they look at menopause as the second spring. So it's not the end of the world. It's a journey, a new transition, a new phase. So embrace it, do the exercise that you need to do the change your diets, have a positive frame of mind about it, and know that is not the end. So I thank you so much. And back to you, Dr. Derek.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Jacqueline Warner. All right, over to you, King Timothy Ferguson Jr., for your closing remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Derek. Yes, I thank you, guys. This is basically what I want to say is the start of a revolution and a change. One of the things that I do not want anybody to leave feeling is in some way of feeling, bad or sad or exposed in any manner. I want everyone to feel victory. In this case here, this is a breakthrough for each and every one of us. And I want to also say that for when it comes to investments, guys, and what we do with investments is our role and what I do is basically the same as what Dr. Benny would share with the when it comes to KYC, know your customer. And so when it comes to what you do for investments, everything that we do is curtailed specifically to the need of the consumer. There's no such thing as gambling. There's no such thing as just doing things that, goes against your will. We only recommend and do what is in need to you. That includes that we take into account that's your age, that's your income, that's your status, all of these things in other places going to determine what are going to be the best things for you, as a need. And so the education part of this is really, really essential. And that's what I'm here to share and continue to share so that we can remove any fears, any feelings, any thoughts that you have or you have experienced that you may have initially had or heard other people have. We're here to educate, to uproot those things, or even give you more explanation as to why those things have initially happened and what's different about what you're doing. Again, financial freedom and financial security is the objection. So we're not doing anything. The objective. So we're not going to do anything that gets in the way of that. Again, for all that are here, and I want to say again, thank you for your time, and I look forward to being able to come back. I look forward to hearing from you guys if you have any questions in the matter and being able to make these changes. Thank you, Dr. Derek.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, King Tim. Really appreciate. Thank you very much, everyone. That was the conclusion of the whole matter. Really appreciate. Thank you very much, Queen Jacqueline Warner, and thank you very much, King Timothy Ferguson Jr. Really appreciate. Remember, his contact information is in the description on the varied YouTube channel that we stream. All right. So please check it out and get in contact. If it's even for knowledge purposes, get in contact, because it's best to speak to your situation and get information based on your situation. All right. Thank you all very much. Thank you those on YouTube. I really appreciate you also being here. Remember, we continue with sister platforms every weekday. We have the Yvonne Duo, which is Queen Dr. Yvonne and Queen Yvonne Finn, which the last for this week will be Friday, tomorrow, in the morrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Then Sunday you have Team, Dream Team. So it's at 12:45 Eastern Daylight Time, and so please come on out and get it firsthand. I think it will be on the topic. The main speaker will be on the topic of cancer. Um, so please come on out. Also on Monday it will be Mindset Monday once again, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and then of course every Tuesday and Thursday deep dive, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So catch you again. Thank you all for joining us and for being with us here on this wonderful Tuesday. And so for those on YouTube, it was a pleasure, and we are going to be closing down the YouTube section at this time, and then we are going to continue with after party. So bye for now, those on YouTube. Take care.
Wow.